Welcome to another episode of Patently Clear with Graham Archer. So our topic today could be a big time saver for inventors, which is reading the prior art. And not just reading it, but reading it efficiently. Because receiving a pile of patent documents is often part of the patenting process, and our aim here is to help make that stack of documents a bit less intimidating.
Yeah, it's a common problem. Whether you're doing a pre-filing novelty search or reviewing documents an examiner has cited, it's not unusual to be staring at half a dozen or even a dozen prior art publications, and some of them are long.
Right, and nobody's got time to read every word.
Exactly. The trick is knowing which parts to focus on. A patent application is usually divided into 5 sections. So there's a background to the invention, a summary of the invention, and then there's a brief description of the drawings that go with a detailed description of the invention, and finally the claims.
Okay, so where should we start?
Well, the good news is that the most useful part of a prior art document is often the easiest to read. And we're not really interested in what the applicant thought they'd invented or what they were trying to protect. That means that the background, the summary, and the claims are usually not where the important stuff is. What we're interested in is how the device or process works, not whether the inventor thought it was clever or what they thought was clever about it.
Okay, so what's left?
So there's still the brief description of the drawings and then the detailed description of the invention. That's where the real substance is. So my tip is start by looking at the drawings. Then give the background section a quick skim just to make sure the patent is actually in the same technical field as your invention.
Okay, and then the summary of the invention?
Honestly, it rarely deserves more than skimming through, then just go straight to the brief description of the drawings and read that alongside the figures. But here's something to watch for. Does the application describe one version of the invention or multiple embodiments? If there are multiple embodiments, treat each as if it was its own separate document.
Okay, so after the brief description, what's next?
The detailed description of the invention. This section will usually reference the drawings, and it's where you'll find the real nitty-gritty.
But not every patent uses the same headings, right?
That's true, yeah. If you can't find detailed description, look for the brief description of the drawing, the part where it'll say things like Figure 1 is a perspective view of, and that'll guide you to the main technical content.
Okay, and then while you're reading that section?
Think about 2 things. How is your invention different from what's being described? And what are the benefits that those differences give you? So those differences help us prove your invention is new, and the benefits, the problems you've solved, help us prove it involves an inventive step.
Okay, so once we've nailed those down, then what's next?
Then we can work with you to figure out if we can get you a patent, what it might protect, and whether it's worth filing in the first place.
Okay, great. So the bottom line really is don't drown in prior art. Be selective, focus on the drawings and the detailed descriptions, and really always be looking out for what's new and beneficial about your invention.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Great. Thanks, Graham.